the embarrassment that he has to deal with, that was even written in his contract, is absolutely blasphemous just on a personal level. From my perspective, man, you know, yes, people want to get paid, but people hate on Tom Brady all the time, and this man was complaining about max contracts. You never ever heard anything about Tom Brady money at all. It was more so Patriots are going to give him an extension. You didn't see the holdouts. You didn't see everything else, and this is what drives me nuts about when people talk about Tom Brady like he's this bad guy. And I know this doesn't have anything to do with Kyler right now, but I just want to have some context behind what I'm saying. At the end of the day, it's a team sport. At the end of the day, listen, everybody. At the end of the day, it's a team sport. This is why I don't think we should hold Super Bowls in such high regards as Hall of Fame players. Dan Marino got in without one just because he was a beast, you know? So think about the team. Think about how much he's going to stranglehold the Cardinals for years and years and years of trying to pay actual players that really do deserve it and shut up and go out on the field and don't complain. They're very good teammates and everything else. Outside of the contrary, him having the study, that's his fault. I mean, at the end of the day, as a quarterback, as the leader of the team, as the epitome of what football is predicated on the quarterback position. Our game is not as great without great quarterbacks. Let me say that again. Regardless of how you feel, our game that we love is not as great without great quarterbacks. This is what the one thing that everybody thrives to, because of the fact that it's the one position that we'll throw blame at every single time, even if it's unwarranted. So with that being said, again, he's strangleholding this team for a very, very long time. Kyler, on the other side of that, I was rocking with you, man. When you won the Heisman Trophy and everybody was like, you shouldn't have won, I knew you should have won because you were the best player in the country. And I think Jalen Hurts should have got the same exact treatment. And when Justin Fields was taken out at the second half of every freaking game, he probably should have won too, just based off the fact that that team was smashing people. I say all that to say this. Kyler, you're a good quarterback, man. Nobody's saying that you're not. Everybody has you in there, at least in their top 20. Some people have you in the top 15. I have you right outside of that because of the second half collapse. I want to see what you're going to do without DeAndre Hopkins this year. Prove us wrong. This contract is saying, we trust you, Kyler, even though you wanted to act like a baby, even though you didn't want to respect the organization of the Arizona Cardinals, we still are paying you the money because we think that you're a very important piece of this puzzle. Now you have to act like a high-paying quarterback that is going out there and proving time and time again that he can win games, that he can make his team better. You're not doing the simple things like showing up to the facilities early. You're not doing the simple things like staying late. You're not doing the simple things like studying the film. These are all basic things. I probably have studied more film than you in the last couple weeks than you actually have, and you're the professional quarterback of the Arizona Cardinals. This is absolutely ridiculous. It's blasphemous. This should have never even came out. And on the other side of that, just to be fair to Kyler, this thing should have never been leaked in the first place because it's a total embarrassment. Not only did you pay him the money, but the embarrassment that he has to deal with, that was even written in his contract, is absolutely blasphemous just on a personal level. I don't like when people get personal. The contract is supposed to be between him and the Arizona Cardinals. It's not supposed to be for anything else outside of the money that was being paid to him because, of course, contracts right now are a public thing with athletes. Sorry I'm getting on the rant. This is my rant, Sora. But I just think it's important just to say, just knowing that playing the position, knowing people that have played the position, and some of our own heroes that have won us plenty games. If we're holding you up in such high regards, Kyler, I want to see more Tom Brady qualities out of you. Right now, I don't have faith that you're going to be able to get the job done, and you're just going to be a dead cap space in the next 2 years if you don't get the job done. My rant is over. We can go ahead and head over to the next topic.
The latest I saw that Kyler was like saying that he refuses to let his work ethic, his preparation be in question. So Arizona does drop the homework requirement from his contract. it was a bit strange that it got promoted, that it was even in the contract, but it kind of did throw some shade on him for not doing enough studying. And like I said, when that graphic went out that showed how his performance declined once Call of Duty came out, the new release each year, how his stats went down for the rest of the season. I mean, think of last year. Those guys were off to a great start. Now, granted, they lost players, but they collapsed at the end of the season. And that fell right in line with these graphics that people were showing. It was quite amazing.
Yeah, man.
Mike Florio knows all these
Let me
things.
turn this audio off as the website is coming out. I know y'all couldn't hear that, but sorry to everybody that was in the chat. Sor, we'll go down since you're right below Don. When you saw this, I know you've got a lot to say. You've been shaking your head the whole time. Spill the beans.
It's just so stupid. Like, I'm not saying you can't have life outside of being a professional quarterback. Like, obviously, you want to play COD, whatever. But my God, this is your job. This is your living. If you fail, you no longer have a job.
Facts.
I'm sure with the popularity and hell in Kyler Murray's case, your job with your what's its face, when he was drafted to the Oakland Athletics in baseball, football fails. Sure, there's baseball, and I guess Twitch, you can be a COD streamer or whatever. But my guy, like, yes, I know. Like Don was saying, people were injured, especially DeAndre Hopkins, which is what we saw. And if you go back to last show, we were talking about how the Cardinals were going to be bad because of D-Hop being out. If Murray wants to put all of this aside, he has to go win without D-Hop. If he doesn't, then this is going to haunt him for the entire season.
It's his burden to bear now.
Yep.
He wanted the money. Deal with the consequences if you don't do well. As coaching younger guys, and what can we teach to them from, this could be a learning moment for a lot of these guys that are going to go off to college and then eventually go to the NFL, the small population that do go. But, from your perspective, what did you think on this? Because DeAndre Hopkins was one of your guys, and, he did make Kyler look good.
Yeah, like I said, man, it's not a quarterback that Hopkins did not really make look good. I mean, you can say to a certain extent, and like I say, I bring it up every time, Deshaun Watson looked better even without DeAndre Hopkins. Yep. So that's the one quarterback that proved that it need DeAndre Hopkins to be as great as he is. Deshaun Watson just on another level. He's just good on his own, right? But again, DeAndre Hopkins meant a lot to a lot of quarterbacks in the league that even tried to make it. But I'll say again, that just said the Cardinals sending him a message. So, hey, you got to take this studying more and more serious. We've seen how you look in the second half of the season. We've seen how you looked against the Detroit Lions when you got benched against the Detroit Lions. We've seen how you look against the Rams in your first playoff game, which was his fault, the reason why they lost that playoff game. And now you moaning and crying about your money all off season. You get it, and then we put something in your contract saying you need to study and take the game more serious. Now you want to cry again. Then your leadership was questioned by AJ Green as well. So again, all that coming into point. You ask for your money, you got your money. Why you can't do what the team says and just study a little more harder, work a little more harder. If you want to be a top 5 quarterback, the top 10 quarterback, people gotta realize it doesn't matter when the team loses, they're gonna always look at the quarterback. You're gonna always look at, especially when the offense struggle, you're gonna always be looked at. The attention is gonna always be on the quarterback. And Kyler Murray takes the Cardinals go as Kyler Murray goes, and he's got to realize that I don't care what you did in high school. Yes, you was the best player overall in high school. Well, nobody cares what you did in college. That's out of the window. What you did in college, you was great in college. But now this is a whole different ball game in the NFL. These are grown men. These are coaches that's gonna lit a fire up under your behind, and they're gonna do whatever it takes to help this organization out. Now, and everybody can agree that he doesn't deserve the contract the way he looked. He's never gotten to that elite quarterback conversation. like we all expecting them to do. But it's going to start with Kyler Murray. He's got to be a better player on the field. He's got to be a better leader.
Yep.
He's got to get on the same page with his wide receivers, regardless of what he don't. What he think everything is not on him. You're the quarterback. You got to take that responsibility. You got to hold all of the L's that you took, and plus, you got to play better in big time games when the team needs you. So again, I don't blame the organization from doing that, because that means they're sending him a message, and he is not taking this game and studying the playbook seriously. And he also brought up that yes, he watched film by himself. He does watch film by himself, and so he also brought that up. But again, everything's gonna go on Kyler Murray. Everything's gonna go on Kyler Murray, whether it's a good or bad. They're gonna praise him when he does good. They're gonna crap on him when he does bad, and that's just the reality of it as a quarterback and as a leader of this team. He's got to be better. He's got to be better if the Cardinals want to go places.